DJI has sold over 10 million units of the Osmo Pocket. I always liked it, but I never loved it. I always thought that the lens was way too wide, and even with the digital zoom, I could never get the compositions that I love. I like to focus on the subject and to compress the background. One day I got an advertisement for a newer lens, and I was like, oh yeah, I have to buy this. As always, I bought this with my own money, and in this video we will test all the elements of this lens. Pun definitely intended. Let's start by taking a little hike. Everything is recorded in standard picture profile with -2 on sharpness on the Pocket 3. There are some clear vignetting on the edges and also a clear drop-off of sharpness. Zooming does remove this, and zooming here was done lossy. The lens removes magnetically and is insanely secure. Even the whipping on turn-off still keeps the lens attached. With the lens attached, the gimbal still maintains complete mobility and stability, even when walking. Let's move on and test flaring. And just like Krillin, this lens is really good at flaring. The large exposed front element catches all the rays, so yeah, you would really need to block it. You can easily block this with a hat or simply just use your hand like this. I actually quite like how it flares, and the contrast is still well maintained. Now let's give the gimbal motor a real workout. As you can see, even on this rocky trail, it fares perfectly. Let's zoom in a bit. And just to be clear, I'm not ninja walking or anything here. I'm being completely careless. Let's add some foreground to the mix now in the next scene, and then we'll also see how autofocus performs. As you can see, focus now still focusing to infinity, which is a good thing. It's not standard that all these things can focus to infinity. So if you ever buy like a third-party lens, this is not a given. And yeah, focus quickly shifted, no issues, and stability is still good. There's focus shifting, keeping focus, still shifting, looking good, and shifting back. Focus is still good. Going to be honest, focus is slightly slower on this lens, but still good, and stability is amazing for what this is. And yes, that was with digital zoom. Next up, let's look at some pictures and let's look at the compression effect. This is a standard Osmo Pocket 3 lens, and as you can see, everything is wide and everything looks far apart. The standard lens has a 35mm equivalent focal length of 20mm, and it still has some nice bokeh given like how wide it is and the size of the sensor. And now for the Neewer telephoto lens. Neewer does market this as a 2x teleconverter lens, but in all honesty, I tested this and it's more like a 1.5x teleconversion rate. So this is a 35mm equivalent lens of 35mm. The sun did flare in this picture, but even with the flaring, the contrast is still amazing for what this is. Like you really have to take this for what it is. It is a lens on a lens. Background compression is good and bokeh is also really good. Now let's zoom in a bit to see the clarity of the font. And now let's look at the tone, the bokeh. If you know the tone, comment below. The bokeh is nice and soft and has a little bit of fringing on the highlights. Next picture. Even in this busy photo, the bokeh is still nice and pleasant, and there's no real deal breaker artifacts in this image. The clouds have no magenta or purple fringing, even with its really bright highlights. And a little zooming on cropping can fix the brightness and sharpness drop off in the very edges of the corners. Looking at the bokeh highlights again, we can see some yellow fringing at the extremes. Now let's really push fringing. Like this is as bright as it gets, In focus, there's nothing, and out of focus, there is a bit, but nothing too bad. One slight downfall of this is it's not really a macro lens. This is as close as it can focus, so you do lose a bit of close focusing ability and use less focus without the lens. So yeah, not really a macro lens, but there are third-party macro lenses available. I actually really liked how the lens flares here. I'm not really a lens flare person, but this is well controlled. Now let's look at some backlighting, and as you can see, no issues here. And longitudinal chromatic aberration is also really well controlled. And the test chart really doesn't show us anything new. We can clearly see the drop off of brightness at the edges. If you want a perfect image, you can use lossless zoom. Or if you just want to fix the vignetting, you can easily fix it in post by shooting log or HLG. Speaking of, this was shot with lossless zoom, and this was shot without lossless zoom, and this was shot with just the standard lens. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video or that you find it helpful. If you did, then please like and subscribe. And if you like the product and you want to buy it, please use my affiliate link in the description below. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.